Hello, Downtown Church. Rob Ward. I'm a session member. We, the session of Downtown Church, are coming to you today to show our support for 480 Beale Street and to also answer questions that you may have regarding the purchase, renovation, and inhabiting 480 Beale. This is certainly an exciting time in our church life and a lot of hard work, quite honestly. There are many groups, the session, your pastors, the facility team, and subcommittees that are working very hard at this moment for Downtown Church and the possibility of 480 Beale. Your session and your pastors have been praying hard for the past 2 years for a permanent home, and actually that prayer has been something we've been lifting up since the inception of our church. We've been called to a particular location in downtown to love on our neighbors and be a multi-class, multi-ethnic people group and to show Jesus to people in downtown Memphis who may not know him today. So why now? People have asked, why now? In the middle of a lot of other activities. My best reply to that is God has put us here. That's what I believe. I can say that it is certainly not our plan to be presented with a building to buy, kick off a capital campaign, begin a search for a new pastor, put together a pastoral search team, and transition Richard out of his role. That was not the plan, but here we are. And the people that are working for Downtown Church all feel led by God to lean into that, and we feel called by God that it is what he intends for us to do. Over 2 years ago, the session put together a building committee to research and locate a permanent home in downtown Memphis. After the building committee was formed, the session conducted a vision and strategic planning process that aligned the building committee's goals with Downtown Church's mission and vision statement. Suddenly, as God does it sometimes, 480 Beale has become available. Lastly, 480 Beale, we believe, meets our needs from a location, price, and functionality standpoint.
I'm Willie Baldwin, one of the elders of Downtown Church. We're very excited to have 480 Beale under contract with a purchase price of $1.5 million. We feel blessed that the sellers have agreed to the terms of our purchase agreement and agreed to the price we offered. God is surely at work. Based on research, we know this is a very good price, below market value, but even so, we are in the process of evaluating the financial wisdom and viability of buying and renovating 480 Beale. More detailed information is coming at the May 21st informational meeting that will include a financial analysis will be provided in order to help us conclude if we have ability to purchase, renovation, and operation expenses of 480 Beale. Based on this information, the session will decide whether to continue moving forward or not. If the session decides to move forward, we will be calling on all members to attend a congregational meeting in June to vote on whether to purchase 480 Beale Street. The potential closing date is July 1st.
Hey family, I'm Nick Barnhart, one of the elders here at Downtown Church. And I also want to say we are so excited about 480 Beale. Now, one of the questions we've gotten a lot is, why are we buying a building instead of just continuing to rent? And that really comes down to two things. First is, as you heard from Rob, we as a church feel called to a pretty specific neighborhood in Memphis. And we've looked for rental options in that neighborhood, and none of them are feasible for our church. But the second is this. We have been renters for our whole church history. For the last 15 years, we've had 5 different homes, and they've always been in somebody else's space. Now, because of where we are in the city, every single one of those, the landlord has wanted to do something else with the space and has asked us to leave. It's time for Downtown Church to have a permanent home. Now, we're buying a building, and that comes with a lot of expenses in both buying the building and then continuing to operate it. And we want to walk in faith, but also walk in wisdom, making sure that the decisions we're making are financially viable and going to be healthy for the long term of this church. So what is our plan? Well, first, right now, the finance team is looking through our existing operational budget to see what money we have already available in the budget for a new building. Meanwhile, the building team is working to figure out not just what it's going to cost to renovate our new building, but what's it going to cost to operate it going into the future. And we want to compare those two numbers and make sure that it is a financially healthy decision for our church to buy this building from both a purchasing and an operations side. Now, as far as what benchmarks we need to hit between now and actually purchasing the building, I want to say right now it's looking good. We think that we will be able to raise the $3.5 million that will be required, we think, for this building, but we're not sure yet. And I wanted to say that right now, we're going to be comparing the amount that we've raised and the amount that is pledged, an analysis of our current expenses compared with our projected expenses in a new building, making sure that if we do take on debt, that that debt can be serviced in our existing budget. And finally, we want to make sure that the renovation costs that we've currently estimated are accurate, because if the renovation cost is too high, that could be a problem. So those are the things that we have been considering, and those are the things that we will confirm before we make a final decision on this building. I want to turn it back to Rob for one final word.
Thank you, Willie. Thank you, Nick. Church family, I hope this video has been helpful. In conclusion, please come to the May 21st meeting and participate. We need you and your thoughts. Number two, please submit questions in advance to building@downtownchurch.com so that we can come prepared with responses to some of your questions in advance of the meeting. Number three, if you'd like to give to the campaign, please reach out to Michelle Gilchrist or Richard Reeves. And lastly, please be in prayer for God's will to be clear, and please pray for the people on the committees doing the heavy lifting. Thank you very much.